Hi everyone, this is LiberAnarchy here doing a video for the Not Jehovah's Witnesses channel. And this is, keep in mind, from the perspective of an outsider. I am not, nor ever have been, a Jehovah's Witness. I have never even set foot inside a Kingdom Hall. I do, however, want to give my 2 cents. I am not automatically against witnessing. I'm not against people sharing their beliefs. I actually encourage it. That way people know what your belief system is about and they can make choices accordingly. Now then, the reason I would suggest people opt out of the Jehovah's Witnesses is because of the witnessing. I want to tell you 2 stories that illustrate problems I have with the way that they witness. Now, both happened when I was a teenager. The second time, it happened to my mother. My mother was about to get into the shower, and she hears her doorbell ring, and she makes herself presentable and runs downstairs and answers the door. And the individual, asked, well, would you like to hear about Jehovah or whatever his shtick was? And she said, no thank you. Or actually, she said something to the effect of, I was just about to get in this shower. She was pretty miffed that it was somebody there to preach at her. Now, his response was not to say, I'm sorry, or okay, ma'am, have a nice day, or goodbye, or anything like that. It was, God could come at any time, ma'am. Really? Now, how manipulative do you have to be to try to pull something like that? Like, I'm going to try to make you so afraid that instead of carrying on with your shower, you will stop everything just to hear about my religion. And how arrogant do you have to be? No. Stop everything. My message is just that important. My religion is just that right. That you are going to stop what you are doing and drop everything and listen to me for a while and stay sticky and dirty and not get on with the rest of your day. That's how right I am. Yeah. Okay, now, the first time I think was the worst time. Even though nothing particularly bad happened, I thought this particular couple was doing something pretty vile. And it wasn't in their style of witnessing, it was in the fact that they brought their child along with them. Now, my father had let this couple into the house. And I stood there because they said they were Jehovah's Witnesses, and I didn't know anything about Jehovah's Witnesses. I knew my dad was a Catholic, and so I was intrigued. I wanted to hear their spiel. Maybe the mothership was coming to take us away. I had no idea. So my dad is talking with this couple, and they are carrying their child, and everyone was being civil, and they got their little spiel out, and there was this little theological discussion that happened, and blobbity blobbity blue. But what irks me about these people bringing their child is not even the indoctrination factor so much. Indoctrination is not a good thing. I don't like that, but this could be very dangerous for the child, okay? Religion can be an extraordinarily touchy subject for a lot of people. Let's say, for example, you have a person that was rejected from their church for being gay or whatever, and they hold a lot of resentment, and so they see a couple with a Bible walking up to their door, and they decide to, chuck a bottle or, something at these Bible thumpers, blah, 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 whatever, and it hits the child. I'm not saying that that's a common occurrence, but since religion is so touchy, people might do that. Also, I think bringing the child along is a little bit manipulative. You see, initially, I'm really nice to these people. If somebody says, would you like to hear about God? Would you like a tract? Would you like this or that? And I say, no, thank you. And then they say, okay, have a nice day, or, something like that. I say, thanks, you too. They might go and say, God bless. I'm like, well, thanks, you too, whatever. I respond civilly. I don't, if they're respectful to me, there's no reason to be mean. But a lot of people, self included, as soon as they start getting manipulative and pushy, I would start getting really, really loud. The entire neighborhood would know, holy crap, there is a Jehovah's Witness who's gonna come to your door. Everybody would hear about it. Everybody. Now, now at first they'd be like, okay, get off my property. And if you don't get off, I'm making one hell of a giant scene. And I probably wouldn't even cuss. But if they kept getting pushy, oh, the string of words you would hear would curl a sailor's hair. And oh, how loud it would be. The words, get off my lawn, compared to what I would say, would sound like the most generous, heartfelt, hillbilly welcome that was ever uttered by a human being. But when a kid's there are people like myself who would refrain from doing that. I would not do that in front of a kid if they got real pushy. Why? Because a kid doesn't need to see that. It's not that they don't deserve it, as in, it's not that the adults don't deserve it, but a kid doesn't need to see that. So the kid, in my estimation anyway, is being used as a shield. It's being used to make people behave. So these two can get really pushy and say weird passive-aggressive things, and other adults are they say, oh, there's a kid there. I don't want to say a string of cuss words in front of a kid. I don't want to yell at the kid's parents in front of a kid. I don't want to make the kid think that his parents are terrible people or something. So it's a way of getting out of being served your just desserts. It's a way of saying, I want to behave in this or that way without getting the consequences that I know are due to me. So, yeah, so the children are, not only are they being indoctrinated, but they're being used as a tool of manipulation. And of course, there is the fact that a lot of people get very touchy about religion, and some people may inadvertently hurt the kid because of stuff like this. So there's my reason, and that is that I think they have witnessing tactics that are less than ethical. Okay, so there's my 2 cents, and thanks very much for listening. And as I always end my videos with, know thyself.